What are your hopes for 2025? Is it something that you had to think about? Is it something that you're still in the process of thinking about? I want to share what my hopes are for 2025 in different aspects of my life, covering life in general, work, travels, and obviously YouTube, what my intentions are for this year. And if you guys have anything similar, obviously put it down in the comments below and we can have a nice little discussion. So I think it'd be nice to obviously start with life because it kind of encompasses, well, it does encompass everything that's going on. So for me, this year is a big year. Not just because it's 2025 and it sounds great, but obviously if you've been here a while, or if you're new here, you may not know, but I'm getting married this year. So this year I'm going to go from fiance to wife, which is insane to think about, but it's coming up, it's creeping up. And it's just, I wonder if I feel any different, because when I've spoken to people, some people have said like, no, the dynamic just feels the same, and other people have said like, no, they feel like our whole life, it feels different. So it'll be interesting to see how I feel about that. So obviously I'm going to share that process with you, like I have been sharing the planning process with you guys, and things are still rolling, etc. So yeah, that's exciting, getting married this year. Another big thing that I'm aiming for this year is post-wedding to rebuild like savings and stuff, because understandably weddings cost a decent amount of money, and that surplus income, like that surplus amount of money that I would have after paying bills and for food, etc., is going towards wedding. So it'd be nice to have that money back in my pocket to go towards other things, mostly travel, knowing me. But I think it's like a nice thing to look forward to, like another thing, you know, a little high after the wedding. And one big thing that I'm really pushing for this year, because I'm bad at doing this, is to stop taking things home, whether that means mentally or physically. And what I mean in the sense that, like, when it comes to mentally, sometimes I will be dwelling on whether I did something right, in terms of, oh, I could have suggested this, or I could have suggested that instead of what I did suggest. Or one thing I'm bad at doing is, if I have like a reflection to write or a presentation to work on or something along those lines, I have a tendency of taking it home, in terms of actually physically just doing it at home rather than doing it at work when I'm scheduled to, not necessarily scheduled to do it, but when I'm meant to be doing it, because that's when I'm paid to do it. I just find that for myself, that like, it's a battle, because I just want to get things done and dusted. Like I have a presentation, I'm presenting a topic to the band, like the other band 5s and other band 6s in my team. Well, it's weird to say it like that, because I'm currently a 6. But anyway, I was like, presenting it to the 5s and 6s in my team. And this presentation has taken me what feels like ages, because in reality, if I took it home, I would have got it done ages ago. But taking an hour here and an hour there and an hour here and an hour there to get it done, it just feels like a drag. But getting that presented over and done with next week, funny enough, so wish me luck with that presentation. I hope it goes well for myself. Another big thing that I'm definitely working on this year in regards to life is trying to stop overthinking so much. I have like, over the years of me being on YouTube, I've thought of like so many different things that I'm like, oh, I wonder if you guys would be interested in that, or oh, this sounds like a great idea in that, and then I just talk myself out of it. Whereas this year I'm trying to stop talking myself out of it. I want to share opinions with you guys, which I will do later on, of an idea I have, and see whether you're feeling for it, because then at least I've tried, and if you guys are like, absolutely not, but fair enough, it was worth running it past you. But that's my aspects of life. I think life this year, yeah, other than the big things of marriage, etc., it'd be a pretty decent, yeah, pretty nice year, getting to see people have teenagers, because obviously with the wedding and everything. So excited on that front. Moving on to work. As you know, physio is where it's at. Well, you wouldn't be here. I'm joking. But no, physio is life. I absolutely love my job, and I wouldn't change anything about my job. You may not know, but obviously I am currently in a secondment, which means you fill someone else's position. I'm currently in secondment as a band 6, and I've still got my band 5 rotational physiotherapy role there at the end of this secondment. And right now, things for me, in terms of this year, I feel like there's going to be a lot of growth, which is the main thing I want. There's going to be a lot of growth no matter which path I take, because obviously secondments come to an end. Whether it's the case of I go back to rotating if a static position doesn't open up and I choose, or one does open up and I choose not to go for it, or whether I choose to remain as a senior physiotherapist and remain as a band 6 and apply for a static position. There's like so many things, like so many pros and cons to the whole thing, and I feel like this year will definitely be a big year in regards to change at work. I already have my next rotation lined up for post-secondment. It's like in my head, I'm happy with whatever. I'm happy to go with the flow. Like how I felt with this role, I was very much like, cool, I'm either gonna rotate on or I'm gonna remain, like be a static in complex. Who knows? So this year will be interesting in that sense, and I will bring you guys along with me, of course, about how my career goes in that sense. In regards to work, I also want to focus on doing more training. I have done quite a bit of training, quite a bit of learning recently, in terms of like what it means. Obviously being a supervisor, which is something that I didn't do before. I went on the training for that, preceptorship training, and things like that. But what I mean in terms of is like my own personal development training, whether that means attending leadership training and stuff along those lines, just to build my portfolio a bit more in that sense. I think that's definitely going to be a focus, which brings me on to the next one, which is obviously CPD. Now, from what I said there, obviously I do CPD on a regular basis. We all do, through rotating, through seeing certain patients, through recommending certain things, but it's just obviously creating that folder. And I have a like spreadsheet way that I'm doing it, but I'm just not really good at keeping up to date with it. I kind of forget about it and then remember, oh, let me update it. So I think what I might start to do is put something in my calendar that every 3 months I stay on top of it and I look back on my calendar and update what went on in that CPD and like what evidence do I have, what did I gain from it, what were the goals going into it to gain from it. So I think that will definitely be an area that it could either go very well or it could flop. Either way, I have to keep a CPD portfolio as one of the requirements for HCPC. It's one of those things, you know, you don't want to be one of those people that it catches up on you and then they're like, hey, can you present evidence? And you're like, I ain't even done this yet. Yeah, I just go back and forth about whether I want it digitally or physically, and it's a whole lot of thing. But moving on to the nicer topics, travel. Now, I love to travel. I absolutely do. Like, honestly, for me, I love work and I love travel. So I was about to say that if money wasn't an option, like an object or an issue or whatever, I would travel a lot more. I probably wouldn't. I love my job too much to frequently be traveling and everything. But with regards to travel, this year we've got some nice trips planned, or in the works of being planned, I should say, because I went to Romania, you know, like the popular spa in Bucharest. I went there at the start of the year and that was lovely, nice and relaxing and everything. Came back nice and zen and chill. So obviously you guys are going to see a short for that because I didn't film a lot of content, I'm not going to lie to you. But in regards to travel, we've got Toronto booked, which is going to be super exciting for us because we've been wanting to go to Toronto for a while. I know I have for years, and we just love Canada. So, hey, hey, ho. I think we're planning on obviously going on a trip in the summer. We might do like one just before we get married. We're like up in the air about whether we'll go like back to Germany because that's where we had our first date, or whether we'll go somewhere else in Europe or whatever, or whether we just won't go to Europe. So not quite sure what's going to happen there in that sense. Obviously we got things like Mahendu coming up. I don't know where I'm going because my friend is planning that, my maid of honour is planning it for me, and I asked not to find out where I'm going until like literally when we pull up at the airport, or if I have to be told for packing. It takes a lot of stress off of me in that sense. And obviously with marriage comes honeymoon. I was gonna film it for you guys, but I'm sorry I didn't. Like, it was just too fun. What we decided to do is we did honeymoon presentations, and presented 3 different destinations to each other, had a debate, and we put it out on my Instagram to get my the people who follow me to give us their opinion on which country they think is probably best for us to go to. So we've got the results of that. We're currently discussing that about when realistically we'll agree with both of our work schedules, because obviously we're in different lines of work. His work schedule in regards to holidays is a lot more flexible in comparison to mine. So that's up in the air. We don't know if we're going on the honeymoon this year or whether it be an early next year thing. So stay tuned for that. Obviously I'll keep you guys updated on that one as well. Now, onto the stuff you probably care about, which is you guys, YouTube. As with work, with YouTube, I want to grow. I want growth, not necessarily in the sense of like just followers and views. Like, yes, of course, who doesn't want more followers and views? But I mean more in the sense of growth in terms of getting to know you guys more, you guys getting to know me more. Growth in the sense of being able to reach more people, whether that means that I see that quite a few of my videos are shared in terms of like people share the link on, pass it on wherever they're passing it on to. I want that more so I can reach more people and support more people, and you know, I don't want to be like inspire more people, but like inspire more people with the platform that I have. I feel like obviously there are times where we go through waves of how we feel about certain things, but either way I'm proud of like the growth over here, and it's not bad to want more. So that's one of my goals for 2025, is just growth on YouTube in all senses. Another thing is I would like to bring more to you guys in the sense of recently, well not recently, for a long time now, obviously I've been thinking about like help you guys with either personal statements or transferring universities or just answering your questions here and there about interviews, etc. But what I was thinking of doing, if you guys are interested, let me know. Would you be interested if I were to set up like a book me service, or a service where I review your personal statement, if you want me to, obviously, review your personal statement, give you my honest feedback at like a small cost, and I think, cool, the way I'm thinking of doing it is like, I'll be honest about how many I can take on. Let's say if I'm like, okay, I can only take on like 10 right now or 20 right now. Yeah, but basically, would you guys be interested in something like that? Me doing like a little service where I'm willing to read your personal statement to support you in that sense, or like a little book me thing in terms of to answer your questions and have like not necessarily a consultation, but like a Zoom call or a chat kind of thing. I know obviously we have my Instagram account and we have the comment section, and one or two of you have emailed me with any concerns or anything. But I thought that could be a nice little organised way of doing it. So then you know the support's at least there. So if you're interested in that, just let me know and everything. I'm by no means an expert, and I can only guide you based off my own experience. So if you're going into this thinking she works at UCAS or something, I do not. So I'm going to put that out there. It's just me giving you help from my own personal experiences, if that's something that you're interested in. So moving on to that, another thing I was thinking of doing in terms of like working with you guys on things is I would like to do more Q&As, because I feel like there's times where I get asked very similar questions from people via Instagram that I think as a Q&A it will give more of you the opportunity to obviously say what you'd like to say or ask me what you'd like to ask, and I can give you the answers all in one, so you can keep going back and looking back on it. It helps you and it also helps me in terms of so that I'm not like giving the same responses. Obviously when you message me directly, I always tailor my response to your situation and to your query, but there tends to be a common theme. So I think Q&A would be nice. In mind, I'm thinking maybe like a Q&A about physiotherapy as a whole, like working as a physiotherapist, if that's something that you're interested in, me doing a Q&A about that, or just a Q&A about my life in general, if that's something that you're interested in. So just let me know. I'm open to doing it. I think it would be a little fun for us to bond a bit more, I think, in that sense. And I've got another one written down, is that like I want to be less harsh on myself when it comes to YouTube, because I think I'm good at filming content in terms of, you know, sitting down being like, yeah, I need to film, but I am a bit about editing content, and it's just because how life is thing. So I do need to get a little bit better on scheduling time to edit my content and everything, so that's a big thing. But I'm at the same time, I'm also not going to be so hard on myself if I don't post every week, just because I don't want to feel forced to post every week. I do want to stay consistent, but I don't want to just throw stuff at you guys for the sake of throwing stuff at you guys. Like, I already know in my head that come end of July, whole of August, and maybe early September, I may be a ghost in the comments, because I know that end of July is my birthday, I'll be on my hen do, August is wedding month. I'd like to think I'll be pretty zen, but who knows what will be happening. I will probably have the camera picked up and film with you, like film for you guys, but in terms of me turning over the content very quickly, I imagine that's not always going to be the case. And then early September, because I get married at the end of August, it's obviously going to be a case of like getting back into routine, dealing with all of that. I know realistically I may not show up as often as I want to in the comment section. I imagine I will have content scheduled in advance, that's the plan. Anyway, but like, those are my hopes for 2025. As you can see, the common theme for me is growth. What is your common theme? I would love to know, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye!